up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're here with the GR86 at Apple Valley Speedway. We got Margaritas, the LS Doctor, in the house, also doing some testing. Today is our first day with the car all set up after we got her back from Spectre built. She got the full catalog from FDF, BC Racing. As you guys probably found out already, we got a Vortech Supercharger on her, so she's a little bit more spicy. I am super stoked to take this car on Drift Week through the Pacific Northwest in a couple weeks. Hopefully this video is dropping while we're starting the trip, and you guys get a little sneak peek of what to expect. But we're gonna get her unloaded, get out on track, and give you a little bit of first impressions. Never been able to open the Mustang door inside, so that's definitely kind of nice. All right, guys, I figured while we're waiting for the 86 to warm up oil temp, I wanted to say thank you to all the partners that helped make this build possible. It looks killer, and I am stoked to test it out on track, but big thank you to Counterspace Garage for hooking me up with a bunch of the tuning and fueling products. Zach over there actually tuned my first 86 from back in New York back in the day, so really cool full circle kind of moment there. Obviously, thank you to Tyler and Sean at Spectre Built and Wraps for doing all the tooling on getting the suspension set up. We've got a wild angel again trying to get in the video, but FDF full catalog, super excited to test that out. Obviously, suspension setup between FDF and BC is going to be super important for keeping this car dialed on the track. These cars also don't make a whole lot of sound, so thanks to AWE Tuning, we got their Performance Touring catback exhaust system on there, and it does sound pretty good. Give it a little rev for you guys while we're waiting for the oil to come back up. Color Fittings did support us with an oil cooler, which fit great, just not with the Vortech kit. So we're gonna work on some of that and see if we can make it work with another variation coming up soon. Also, big thank you to Avid One Wheels, one of my biggest existing partners. Also want to say thank you to Lockdown Performance, stepping up this year to support me in my whole program. They've been with me on the Mustang and joining the program again on the 86. Obviously, Vortech, we got a supercharger on here to give this 86 a little bit more pep in her step, and I'm looking forward to testing that out. Also, thank you to Prisma Lab, NRG, again, existing partners, stepping up to support this build. They're actually gonna send Darren with me on Drift Week to document the whole trip, and I'm super stoked to see what he comes up with. So yeah, just want to say thank you again to all the partners that helped make this build possible, and I am looking forward to showing you guys this thing on track. So the 86, so we're gonna let Cam from Slide take it for a spin, see what he thinks. He's got a pretty cool Miata turbo build that he let me drive on this track. I haven't taken it on the track yet, but on a little skid pad it was pretty fun. So I think it needs a little bit more caster, so it might flop like the Mustang was when he got to drive it in the past, but I like to get other people's opinions and see what it is, so let's have some fun. It's got to be over like 4,000 to have anything. Well, I'm feeling it out. Don't smoke my friend. Nice. It's zippy, right? Cam took it for a rip. He had some fun. What's your first impression?
It rocks, dude. The supercharger is definitely a lot of power. It definitely works. I like how the steering kind of feels. You can definitely grow into a car like this.
But the car feels awesome. It does need a little bit more caster or a little bit less camber. Let me show you how the FDF top hats adjust that on this car. It's actually pretty cool. So you guys have seen like the sliders that come on like standard BCs or other coilovers. You can see the sliders actually oriented kind of diagonally in the engine bay, because that's kind of how I thought the orientation would be best. But basically all around this top hat on the top, there's a bunch of holes. So these 3 holes that mount the hard top hat itself can also rotate, and then you can change this axis. So I gotta play around with if I wanna go further back or if I wanna go more outside. We are pretty good in tucking this tire. We're definitely rubbing the outside of the tire. This is probably the biggest tire we'll run. It's a 235 40/18. So pretty monster tire for this car coming on a 215. It clears, it doesn't rub on anything, there's no spacers. I guess I should also let you guys know the wheel specs, they're the same as on my Mustang. It's an 18 by 8.5 plus 35 offset. And of course these are in 5 by 100 for the 86 instead of 5 by 114 for the Mustang. But it's a pretty relatively negative offset. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. This will be a good test for this mic. It's a pretty monster tire and offset to be running on this car, and it doesn't rub on anything that you need. It does rub a little bit on the inner tire or inner firewall fender, like the little splash guard, but it doesn't actually rub on the bumper, even on this lip that we got from Street Hunter that I don't mind that. Sorry, TJ, I already bashed it up a little bit actually in my driveway, but yeah, it doesn't rub on that beautiful lip, and it doesn't rub back here either. So pretty stoked on that. So here's the setting that we started at. You can see basically maxed out here and wherever that lands. So nice and easy to remember. And I've already adjusted this passenger right side. So you can see we slid back a little bit. So this guy came with it. And so what that will do is it brings the top hat a little further back. So we've gained a little bit of caster, which means that we should get more camber gain. This also affects the camber, and we'll get back to that. But negative camber goes in like this, right? A little tilty boy. Positive camber is this way. So if you have camber gain, it means as you sweep, the tire will actually stand up and try to roll over on itself. So obviously you don't want to roll over too far, and that's part of why we run a bunch of camber up front. We did add some camber. Honestly, I didn't necessarily need any more camber. Because we have more caster, it will also reduce that negative camber gain, positive camber faster. So we're gonna see if that adjustment was enough where this gets to flat a little earlier, because I was feeling like the car was kind of flopping over, wanting to drive real sideways, which is cool. Some of us will refer to that as driving with your dick out, which is kind of a fun way to drive. But for close tandems and a little bit more of a predictable car, you want the car to be flat around 40 to 60% of your angle, where on the current setup, it was pretty much near 80 to 100% of the angle, which is not how I want to drive on Drift Week in my street car. I'm happy to report that little bit of adjustment on our caster and camber was just what she needed, just enough self-steer, and actually helps clear the fender a little bit better. I had so much fun just testing it and went back onto the track and hooked it. It is so fun. I am looking forward to showing you guys some more of the videos of this thing on track. We're in the trailer. Charles is out here, and the 86 is just hanging out and keeps going into limp mode. I'm not sure why. I thought maybe it was like a traction control thing, so pulled a fuse, that didn't fix it. It'll let me do a couple donuts and then it just goes back into limp mode. Poor Charles came all the way out here to get to drive it, and he got to do half of a donut. He did get to experience a full figure 8, but then by the time we switched, it already went back into limp mode. So unplugged the negative on the battery, letting it fully cool down. Hopefully it goes away and doesn't come back. I did run the car pretty hot, so hopefully we didn't hurt it too bad, and we'll check in with you in a little bit. All right, Charles, it worked. We got a lap, no limp mode.
My friend had a boosted FRS with a turbo. This is supercharged here.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, as he said, it's a little laggy, so you do have to kick, but he's being stubborn.
I want to go fast, man.
200 wear tires.
Used to driving with that guy. We go fast, but
this car is fucking fast.
It does. It
when
feels
you
it.
get into the power at 6K, we're like, oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Mid turn, it's quick.
Yeah, it's so much.
The handbrake is amazing, isn't it? It's a stock handbrake. It's just a cable.
When you need to extend, it works every time.
It's perfect. The foot brake is perfect.
The left foot brake was awesome.
Yeah.
This is a perfect practice car, just bullshit car, and just have some fun. It has just enough power.
I'm glad it worked. I'm glad you came out.
Hell yeah.
You're not feeling sick anymore. We got rid of it.
Yep, I'm feeling
He's cured. Drifting. All right, guys, that's the end of the day here at Apple Valley Speedway with the Drift Week 8.6. Such a fun day. Thank you again to all the partners. We did have a little bit of snafus with limp mode, but I'm stoked we figured out suspension setup that I'm happy with alignment-wise. All the FDF shit worked absolutely phenomenal. The alignment ended up being near perfect, just a couple quick little adjustments. So the boys at Spectre did an awesome job, thanks to Tanner coming out. Coilovers feel perfect, kind of at middle setting right now. I think I'll probably firm up in the front, but we'll get into that nerdy stuff later. Had a great day here at Apple Valley Speedway, hanging out with Margaritas. We got to do an initiation together, and then I spun because he's got tons of angle, and then he had a little oopsie off track. So it just wasn't meant to be today, but that's all right. Coming down to the wire for Drift Week. We'll be on the road in about a week and a half. Probably by the time this video comes out, I'll be out there. So stay tuned. Looking forward to seeing you guys again.